Have you ever heard the phrase passing away in your sleep? It sounds peaceful, doesn't it? No pain, no struggle, no prolonged illness. Just do not wake up the next morning. For many, it seems like a gentle ending to a full life. But what about loved ones left behind? What about people like you standing at the threshold of your 70s? Are you truly aware of the reasons behind such sudden deaths? Or could you also be repeating a series of small habits, seemingly harmless, that may be quietly leading you toward a morning you'll never wake up to? One early winter night, Mr. Stanley, a 71-year-old man living in Melbourne, Australia, had just finished dinner and was watching a television drama with his wife, as usual. They chatted cheerfully and even made plans to visit their grandchildren over the weekend. He showed no signs of discomfort, nothing unusual. The night was calm, but the next morning, no matter how many times his wife tried to wake him, he didn't respond. Mr. Stanley had passed away in his sleep. No one could understand why. He had no history of heart disease. His blood pressure was well controlled. He took daily walks and ate a balanced diet. His family was stunned, and the doctors couldn't find a clear reason. The official cause: sudden death. But behind those two words, sudden death, is a chain of silent causes that most older adults tend to ignore. Because after the age of 70, the body doesn't function like it used to. What you eat, drink, or do in the evening, which may seem normal, could actually be triggering cardiovascular events, blood pressure spikes, respiratory issues, and disturbances in the central nervous system while you sleep. Every habit, no matter how small, could be that leads to the final fall. Do you remember waking up in the middle of the night with a tight chest or shortness of breath without knowing why? Have you ever felt more exhausted waking up than when you went to bed, even if you slept through the night? Or perhaps there were nights when you stirred half asleep, your heart pounding unusually fast, and you quietly turned over, thinking, maybe it's just stress, it'll be better tomorrow. Those could be early warnings. According to studies from geriatric research centers in the US and Japan, the rate of sudden death during sleep in people over 70 is 5 times higher than in other age groups. Most incidents occur between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the time when the body is most vulnerable to neurological and circulatory imbalances. And here's the striking fact: over 70% of these cases had no clear medical history. Their only common trait was living normally and having normal habits like everyone else. But it's precisely those normal things, like eating late dinners, drinking too much water before bed, bundling up in too many blankets, or sleeping in poor positions, that become silent killers. If you're thinking, I'm still healthy, remember, Mr. Stanley was healthy too. If you think, I sleep very well, maybe you just don't realize you're sleeping the wrong way. If you believe, I've never had heart issues, remember that sudden death doesn't give warnings. After 70, the body is like an old clock, precious but fragile. Every action before bed is like winding it. It can help it tick smoothly or break the whole mechanism in an instant. And sadly, most seniors realize this only when it's too late. Or worse, they never get the chance to realize it at all. We never know which day might be our last. But what we can and should do is make sure those small daily habits don't silently take our lives without a sign. In the upcoming segments, I'll share 4 seemingly harmless bedtime habits that have been scientifically linked to strokes, heart attacks, sleep apnea, and sudden death. And more importantly, I'll show you incredibly simple adjustments, no cost, no medication, no pressure, that can help you sleep more deeply, more safely, and wake up each morning with a stronger, healthier body. If you've ever known someone who passed away unexpectedly in their sleep, or you've ever asked yourself whether it could happen to you, leave the number 0 in the comments. Not to grieve or fear, but to let me know you're here, you're listening, and you're choosing to live a healthier life each day. And don't take your eyes off this video, because the very first habit you need to adjust might be happening tonight, right at your dinner table. Try to think back to yesterday. What time did you have dinner? Was it after 7 p.m.? Although after 8, or even close to 10 at night? And what did your dinner consist of? A bowl of pho, a plate of broken rice, a few slices of grilled meat, or maybe a hot bowl of noodles to warm your belly for better sleep? If you answered yes to any of the above, then please pause for a moment and listen closely. After the age of 70, every late dinner is a silent struggle that you're forcing your heart and stomach to endure in the darkness. In your 20s, you could eat late and sleep like a baby. In your 30s and 40s, dinner at 9 p.m. might not even faze you. But after 70, your body no longer functions the way it used to. And dinner, if it happens too late or is too heavy, is no longer just satisfying, it becomes a ticking time bomb. The story of Margaret, a 72-year-old woman living in Queensland, Australia, is a vivid illustration of this. She had been living alone since her husband passed away and accustomed to staying up late. She often had dinner around 9:30 or 10 p.m. Her favorite meal was stir-fried egg noodles, sometimes with a bit of sausage or beef balls. The rich, warm, and savory flavors made her feel full, cozy, and ready for sleep. But within a few months, she started experiencing nighttime heartburn and discomfort in her chest. Sometimes she'd wake up feeling like she was choking, unable to breathe deeply, with her heart racing as if she had just run a mile. At first, she thought it was just part of aging. But when she finally went to the doctor, the diagnosis was nighttime acid reflux, putting her at high risk of aspiration pneumonia. Just because of a late dinner, I nearly paid with my life, she shared through tears. Why is late dinner so dangerous? Because after 70, your body needs rest more than digestion. Your stomach produces fewer enzymes and works more slowly. Your intestines don't contract as efficiently as before. Your liver and pancreas weaken, reducing their ability to process fats, sugars, and proteins. When you eat a heavy dinner at 8 or 9 p.m. and lie down to sleep by 10:30, you're forcing your entire digestive system to work overtime precisely when it needs to rest. The results? Your stomach doesn't fully digest the food. Acid backs up into your esophagus, acid reflux. Your heart rate increases to aid digestion, nighttime arrhythmia, poor sleep quality, and your body fails to enter deep sleep. All of this causes silent damage to your cardiovascular and respiratory systems and ruins your sleep. In fact, according to the Japan Geriatric Center, people over 70 eat dinner after 8 p.m. have a 3.2 times higher risk of nighttime stroke compared to those who eat before 7 p.m. And you might think, I've been eating late for years and I'm fine. But the truth is, consequences don't show up right away. They build up night after night, week after week, month after month. And one day, your body simply can't take it anymore. The solution isn't hard, but it requires you to recognize that your body has changed. Try to finish dinner before 7 p.m. If you feel hungry afterward, have a light snack, a banana, a few almonds, or a warm cup of chamomile tea. Avoid fried foods, high-fat meals, and anything too spicy or too sweet in the evening. And if you're someone living alone or who eats late because there's no one around to tell me otherwise, remember, you are the only one who can save yourself. No one else can reset your weakening biological clock. Think back to your dinner last night. If you ate at 8:30, had something fried, and lay down to sleep within an hour, you're in the high-risk group. And if this happens regularly each week, you're silently steering yourself toward dangerous complications, even without any pre-existing condition. Sometimes a small change like shifting your mealtime an hour earlier may save you from a night of crisis. If you've eaten dinner after 8 p.m. in the past week, or have a habit of lying down right after eating, leave the number 1 in the comments. I want to know you're following along. I want you to take charge of your health. And I hope that when others read your comment, they'll see themselves in your story and be inspired to make a change too. Because we don't just live for today, we live to wake up healthy tomorrow. Do you remember how many times you woke up last night? Once, twice, or maybe 3, even 4 times just to make your way to the bathroom in the dark, groping for the light switch, your heart pounding from the bowl and the fear of falling. If you've ever experienced that, please don't brush it off as just a normal part of aging, because every nighttime bathroom trip is a serious test for your heart, your brain, and your balance system. Many people over 70 believe that frequent nighttime urination is just because of a weak bladder, or it's normal at this age, Or I'm drinking water for my kidneys. But did you know nighttime falls are the leading cause of hip fractures, brain injuries, and early death in people over 75? And more than 70% of serious nighttime falls happen when older adults wake up to go to the bathroom. Helen, 76 years old, living in San Jose, used to think waking up 3 times a night to urinate was completely normal. She had a habit of drinking 2 glasses of water after dinner, plus a cup of herbal tea at 9 p.m., because she heard tea is good for sleep. Then one winter night, as she jumped up from bed, she felt dizzy and the room spun. She tried to walk out of the room, but just a few steps later, she collapsed. The result? A fractured hip. She needed hip replacement surgery and spent nearly 6 months learning to walk again. From being a healthy, independent woman who went grocery shopping and cooked every day after that fall, she became hesitant, afraid, dependent, and constantly anxious. I used to think staying disease-free meant I'd live long, she said, but I never imagined that just one slip in the night could change the rest of my life. So what's the reason? Why is nighttime urination so dangerous? The answer lies in physiological changes after 70. The bladder becomes weaker and holds less, making it more easily triggered. The kidneys continue filtering blood at night, leading to a full bladder while you're asleep. The body's ability to regulate blood pressure deteriorates. When you suddenly go from lying, sitting, standing, blood doesn't reach the brain in time, causing orthostatic hypotension, which can lead to dizziness, fainting, or even blackouts. Also, each time you wake up, you turn on the lights, walk around, face bright light, which tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime and stops producing melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall into deep sleep. The result? Sleep becomes fragmented and shallow. Your immune system weakens. Your mood changes and you feel tired or forgetful. Over time, this increases the risk of cognitive decline and even dementia. But the most concerning issue remains the risk of falling. A study in Denmark showed people over 70 who wake up twice or more each night to urinate are 4 times more likely to fall than those who wake up only once or not at all. And falling at this age is no longer a small matter. It's falling into a cycle of illness, losing independence, opening the door to fractures, immobility, pneumonia, pressure sores, and eventually losing one's dignity in life. You might be thinking, but I need to stay hydrated. Yes, no one denies that. But the issue isn't how much you drink, it's when you drink. Here are a few adjustments you can make right away. Increase water intake during the day, especially from morning to 3 p.m., after 4 p.m. It gradually reduce fluids, especially tea, coffee, juice, and soups. If you're thirsty in the evening, take small sips, not full glasses. Limit watery foods at dinner like soup, broth, or juicy fruits. Avoid taking diuretics if prescribed. At night, talk to your doctor about better timing. Additionally, use a dim nightlight bright enough to walk safely but not harsh on the eyes. Keep slippers next to your bed to avoid slipping. If needed, consider using a bedside commode so you don't have to walk far. Sometimes people don't die from illness, but from a single misstep in the dark. No one thinks they'll fall until they do. No one thinks they'll become weak until they can't get up. And then you realize just one glass of water too late can collapse a lifetime of strength. If you've ever had to wake up 2 or more times each night to use the bathroom, or you've felt dizzy when getting up, leave the number 2 in the comments. I want you to start listening to your body, and I want others, when they see your number, to wake up to their own warning signs. Because sometimes your simple share may save someone else from a fall that never needed to happen. When we were younger, we could sleep under a fan or even in an air-conditioned room without needing a blanket. But after turning 60, especially past 70, everything seems to change. You feel the cold more. Your body becomes sensitive to even the slightest draft. A gentle breeze can make you shiver. And so you start turning the heater up. You add another layer of blanket. You wear long-sleeve pajamas, socks, even a sleeping cap just to be safe. It sounds careful and thoughtful, doesn't it? But that warm, safe feeling can sometimes be a sweet trap that leads to strokes, dehydration, and heart strain during sleep. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Stanley, 74, living in Victoria, Australia. He's a meticulous man, always careful with his health. Every night he'd set his heater to 26 degrees Celsius, sleep under 2 thick comforters, wear a light sweater, and wool socks to bed. "I don't want to wake up from the cold. Sleeping cold is tough on the heart," he said. But strangely, despite all his efforts, he couldn't sleep deeply. Each night he woke up at least twice, his back drenched in sweat. Sometimes his heart would race. He felt anxious and uncomfortable. In the mornings, he felt drained, foggy, and weaker with each passing day. Medical exams didn't show any major illness. But a sleep specialist referred to by his son gave him a surprising answer. The room was too warm and the blankets too thick. That was why he couldn't sleep well. His heart was stressed and his body was worn out. Sound familiar? Many older adults confuse warm enough to sleep with too hot for the body to regulate. After age 70, your body's ability to regulate temperature declines. You sweat less and your blood vessels react more slowly. Your autonomic nervous system weakens, making it harder for your body to adapt to the surrounding environment. When your sleeping environment is too warm, your core body temperature can't drop properly, which keeps your heart rate elevated all night, preventing deep sleep. And deep sleep is when your heart slows down and rests. Your brain clears out waste, helping prevent dementia. Your immune system regenerates. Restorative hormones are produced. If you don't sleep deeply, the effects may not be obvious right away, but each morning you'll feel more tired. Your memory may gradually decline. Your blood pressure may rise slightly in the morning, the exact time when the risk of stroke and heart attack spikes. Many believe sleeping in a warm room prevents colds or pneumonia. That's true in some cases, but if it's too warm, the consequences can be far worse. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, the ideal bedroom temperature for older adults is between 18 to 20 degrees C. It may vary slightly depending on your body, but should not exceed 22 to 23 degrees C, especially at night. And it's not just the temperature, even your bedding plays a role in heat trapping. Synthetic comforters, like polyester, retain heat well but aren't breathable, so sweat doesn't evaporate properly. You may not feel it during the night, but you wake up feeling just tired. Yasin, so how can you stay warm at night without harming your heart? Keep your bedroom between 18 to 20 degrees C. If you're afraid of the cold, use multiple thin blankets that can be adjusted easily. Choose breathable materials like cotton-filled comforters instead of thick or synthetic ones. Wear light, breathable sleepwear like cotton or soft silk. Avoid tight woolen sweaters or thick socks overnight. Crack a window slightly or use a gentle fan to keep air circulating through the night. If using a heater, set a timer to turn it off after 1-2 hours so the room doesn't overheat later in the night. After making these adjustments, Mr. Stanley said something that truly moved me. For the first time in years, I slept straight for 6 hours. No jolts, no sweat, no exhaustion. I woke up feeling 10 years younger just by lowering the room temperature a few degrees. See? Sometimes one small change can bring back the sleep you thought you'd lost forever. If you sleep in a room warmer than 24 degrees Celsius or often use 2 thick blankets each night, leave the number 3 in the comments. I want you to pay closer attention to the kind of warmth you're seeking, because maybe your body has been quietly crying for help and you just haven't heard it yet. And if you've ever woken up in the night feeling hot, sweaty, or with a racing heart, try lowering your bedroom temperature tonight. You might be surprised by the difference it makes. There's a silent presence beside you every night. No sound, no warning. It's not a disease. It's not a medication. It's not a visible complication. It's simply the position you sleep in. Sounds trivial, doesn't it? But in reality, the wrong sleeping position is one of the leading causes of sleep apnea, heart strain, reduced brain oxygen, and even sudden death, especially in those over 70. And the scariest part, most of us have no idea we're doing it wrong. Do you usually sleep on your back? You probably find it relaxing and comfortable. Sleeping on your back supports the spine, right? That might be true, when you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. But after 70, your body structure, Airways, heart and lung functions, and even brain activity all change. Sleeping position is no longer about comfort. It becomes a matter of survival for your respiratory and cardiovascular systems through the night. The story of Mr. Walter, 76, is a clear example. He always slept on his back. His wife often complained about his loud snoring. Sometimes in the middle of the night, he would stop breathing for a few seconds, then suddenly gasp and jolt awake only to fall back asleep as if nothing had happened. "I was so scared that I stayed awake watching his breathing," his wife said. Eventually, sleep testing revealed he had moderate sleep apnea, putting him at high risk for chronic heart failure, brain hypoxia, and nighttime arrhythmias. And the root cause of it all? His back sleeping position. Why is sleeping on your back so dangerous? When you lie on your back, gravity pulls your tongue and soft throat tissues backward, partially or completely blocking your airway, especially as the throat muscles weaken with age. The result? Airflow to the lungs is restricted. You experience oxygen deprivation without knowing it. The heart has to work harder to compensate, leading to nighttime arrhythmias. Your brain is repeatedly disturbed, causing fragmented, shallow sleep and ongoing fatigue. In many cases, people don't even wake up fully, but their sleep is continuously interrupted, leading to daytime drowsiness, increased risk of cognitive decline, morning blood pressure spikes, and a double risk of sudden death in sleep, especially if there's underlying heart disease. Sleeping on your right side isn't much better either. According to the Cleveland Clinic, right-side sleeping increases pressure on the right chambers of the heart and reduces blood flow, especially dangerous for people with heart failure or hypertension. So what is the safest sleeping position after age 70? The answer? Sleeping on your left side. Why? It reduces pressure on the heart. Since the heart leans left, lying on that side helps distribute gravitational force more evenly, allowing it to beat more easily. It improves digestion. The stomach and colon are also on the left side. This posture supports intestinal movement and reduces acid reflux. It opens up the airway, avoiding tongue collapse like when sleeping on the back. It prevents sleep apnea, keeping airways open and oxygen flowing properly. If staying on your left side all night feels difficult, try using a body pillow to stabilize your position, placing a thin pillow behind your back to prevent rolling over, placing a small pillow between your knees to relieve pressure on your hips and spine. At first, it may feel unfamiliar, but within 1-2 weeks, you'll notice the difference. Deeper sleep. No more waking up gasping or drenched in sweat. Waking up clearer, breathing easier, and feeling more refreshed. And most importantly, you're finally giving your heart and brain the rest they truly need. Sleeping in the wrong position doesn't hurt right away, but it quietly drains your energy, disrupts your biological rhythm, and increases your risk of cardiovascular events. No one sees death coming while asleep, so don't let the way you lie down each night become the open door to something irreversible. If you often sleep on your back or have never paid attention to your sleeping position, leave the number 4 in the comments. Not for me to count, but for you to remind yourself, I've started to notice and I will change. And if you've ever snored, gasped for air, or woken up breathing heavily, try sleeping on your left side tonight. One small change could protect you from a much bigger danger than you think. You've just walked with me through 5 habits that may seem small, but after age 70, they can carry serious consequences. Not illnesses, not accidents, but the things you unknowingly do each night, repeatedly, quietly, slowly wear down your health. Together, we've reflected on a late dinner forcing your heart to labor when it should be resting, midnight bathroom trips that seem normal but can lead to falls and chronic sleep loss, an overheated room, heavy blankets not comforting, but silently burdening your heart, the wrong sleeping position, especially lying on your back, inviting the invisible threat of sleep apnea into your dreams, and above all, the mindset of "I'm fine, I've always done this, I've slept this way my whole life." But after 70, your body is no longer the same. A small misstep, if repeated long enough, becomes a turning point for your health and your longevity. Maybe after this video, you won't change everything overnight. That's okay. I'm not asking you to uproot every habit in a single moment. I'm only asking you to choose one thing to begin with. Maybe it's eating dinner earlier tonight, drinking less water after 7 p.m., lowering your bedroom temperature a few degrees, trying to sleep on your left side with a body pillow, or simply taking a few moments to listen to your breath before bed. Because sometimes the smallest change can bring you many more mornings of peace and presence. If you've made it this far, leave a comment with a number from 1 to 4, depending on which habit you currently have. I want to know you're here, and I believe that when you share, someone else might read it and begin their change with you. You can also write, "I will start with," and share the one habit you'll change first. We can't know what tomorrow will bring, but we can give our bodies a better chance to live fully starting tonight. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to follow the channel, share it with someone you care about, and leave a comment so I know you're walking this journey of elder health with me. See you in the next video, where we'll continue learning to listen to our bodies, understand ourselves, and live slower but live more truthfully.